got to fight this guy. Oh, you got injured in camp. You lose to that guy too. Now you're set back when you could have been a champion.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of like weirdness going on with possibilities and, you know, just luck, bad luck, and good luck.
Bad luck and good luck. Timing, I think, is a big thing.
How is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's completely unfair. It is completely just, I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to get canceled.
Planet. And then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
Joe Rogan strongly criticizes Jake Paul for his upcoming fight with Gervonta Davis, highlighting the massive size difference between the two fighters. He explains that weight classes exist to protect athletes and ensure fair competition, and that ignoring them creates serious risks. According to Rogan, Jake seems more focused on promoting the event than respecting the principles of fairness in boxing. He warns that Jake's much larger frame and punching power could cause real harm to Tank Davis, making the matchup both unsafe and unnecessary.
Sure, but no time limit within the weight classes.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy.
Because you know, like two guys are facing off each other, like, and they know, like, there's no rescue every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you go into it knowing you're either getting knocked down or submitted, or you're doing that to the other person.
Michael Bisping raises serious concerns about Jake Paul's decision to face Gervonta Davis despite the extreme weight disparity. He points out that Jake is preparing to fight someone nearly 100 pounds lighter, which undermines the natural balance of the sport. Bisping recalls how Jake's fight with Mike Tyson already sparked controversy due to Tyson's age and retirement status. Now, this matchup with Tank Davis adds to the criticism because it appears to prioritize Jake's advantage rather than fair competition. Bisping emphasizes that boxing thrives on equal contests, yet this fight tilts so heavily in Jake's favor that it looks less like a genuine sporting challenge and more like an effort to secure personal gain while risking Tank's safety.
One thing, that's called being a bully. It was bad enough when he fought Mike Tyson, a man that was 58 years old, and he was walking around like, I just beat the baddest man on the planet. I just destroyed Mike Tyson and went out there and I beat him, and him and his brother are all celebrating and shit like that. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word, whoa, stop being such a bully. Leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have here. It is ridiculous. When you look at the tail of the tape, Gervonta Tank Davis, granted, a very, very skilled boxer, a world champion. He's had some great wins. He's had a tremendous career. He's got 28 knockouts on his record. I'm just looking at the tail of the tape here. 30 years old, Jake Paul, 28. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" tall, whereas Jake Paul is 6'1". I would never dream on picking on a guy that is 5'5" tall. Granted, there's some tough guys out there that are 5'5", okay? They're smaller guys, but for 5'5", they'll pack a good punch. Typically, they're mixed martial artists or boxers, yeah.
Teddy Atlas reacts to the face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, highlighting the extreme size difference. He jokes that Tank is so much smaller that he would need a ladder just to reach Jake's chin. While Atlas acknowledges that differences in skill and style are part of boxing, he stresses that the physical gap in this matchup is far too great. According to him, Tank is simply too undersized to reach Jake effectively, making the fight appear mismatched from the very start.
Things, right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. the size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but you know, a little different. The size difference was, I mean, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping, and it made me think. And I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there.
Joe Rogan points out that Jake Paul's actions are driven more by promotion than by genuine competition. He explains that these types of fights are designed to attract casual viewers and spark curiosity by pairing unusual opponents. Rogan believes that the betting hype and spectacle surrounding such events are less about sporting merit and more about creating headlines. He argues that Jake knows how to keep his name in the spotlight and uses boxing primarily as a promotional platform, even when the matchups make little sense competitively.
That's a problem. That makes it a problem. My opinion is, I just want to say, in case someone calls me into court, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know nothing. And don't take my advice.
I love the Saudis.
Don't take my opinion.
I love the Israeli government. I love everybody.
That had nothing to do with them. That was Jake Paul promoting it. You know, it's just like, doesn't bother me.
There's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like,
if I bet on it,
watching
it
it
bothers
is
the fuck out
hard.
of me.
Watching it with people who are so in on it, and then also man, the sports betting apps, they introduced like chat apps in them in Australia. So it's like they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Like betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you in.
Thing.
They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in any way they can.
Leonard Ellaby explains that Gervonta Davis was not in the right mental state to face Lamont Roach. He says Tank had been dealing with numerous personal challenges and didn't want to take on additional stress at the time. According to Ellaby, Tank's lack of motivation was the main reason the fight never materialized, despite fans expecting it. He suggests that Tank was more focused on managing his personal life than proving himself in the ring, and stepping away from the Roach fight helped him avoid unnecessary pressure.
Leonard Ellaby said,
Reports indicate that Gervonta Davis is planning to retire following his upcoming fight with Jake Paul. Sources suggest that this decision is driven less by desire to cement his legacy or win additional titles, and more by the opportunity to secure long-term financial stability. Observers note that Tank's success. Analysts also point out that Tank has faced significant personal challenges and pressures recently, which may have influenced his choice to take on a high-profile but unconventional matchup. Viewed in this light, the fight with Jake Paul seems like a calculated move to maximize earnings and ensure financial security before stepping away from professional boxing.